Out on
for
the
the
street.
meeting. I was like, wow.
Such a bad word.
This is great.
My first thought
rain's
was,
bad.
oh, is it tonight? Oh, there's going to be no parking.
I just get
totally
a sick
forgot the
stomach when I hear the word rain. Whether it's
I thought it ended.
What?
Okay, we're ready
You
to
don't have to
go.
deal with them.
I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Hsd School Board, August 8th, 2017 regular meeting. Ready to go at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Take roll call. Kathleen Abrazizi,
Here.
Jason Cipriano,
Here?
Caitlin Parnell,
Here.
James Sweeney,
Here.
Karen Yasenka,
Here.
and also seated at the board table is Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Earl Metzler.
Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Public comments?
There were no requests for public comments tonight.
Okay, thank you. Under current business, the emergency response training has been tabled to August 22nd. Officer Conway is unable to be here tonight, and he's an important part of that presentation, so we will wait for him on the 22nd.
Okay. I'm just going to move on the minutes. You might have skipped that one.
I was just getting this over with first.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
All right. Now we'll go back to the approval of minutes.
I'll make the motion that the board accept the minutes of the June 27th, 2017 meeting as submitted.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Can I vote on it? If I wasn't here?
You can abstain.
Okay. I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
4 in favor, 1 abstention.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure.
Next, move on to summer facilities project update from Business Operations Coordinator Tom Gary.
Madam Chair. Real quick, for anybody listening at home, I don't know if it's picking it up or not, but the summer concert is going on outside, so I don't know if the people at home can hear it or not, but sorry.
Okay. Greetings, Madam Chair, members of the school board. Excited to be here tonight. I'd like to give you the update on the Hampstead Central project. Is that so?
Yep, perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, well, it is a very exciting time for the project. I'm happy to inform you all that we are on track with the schedule as to where we are right now. So far, our project team has been established. They are Madam Chair Yasenka, School Board Member Caitlin Parnell, Dr. Earl Metzler, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Wilson, Attorney Dowd, Principal Dillard, and myself, Tom Geary. We have since picked a designer, the design team of Craig Jones and Dennis Myers from Dennis Myers Architecture. And we are working closely with our owner's project management firm, Trident, and representatives Gino Baroni and Paul Pendolino. Since selecting the designer, we've held a kickoff meeting, and we're in the process of gathering information that's available. Basically, we don't know where we're going until we know where we've been. So I'd like to share some very important dates. During the week of August 24th, the design team will be joining me and Principal Dillard to conduct interviews with key departments and stakeholders to establish the educational program that will dictate the intent of the design. More importantly is the community outreach meeting that we've scheduled at the Hampstead Central Cafeteria on September 6th at 7 p.m. During this meeting, all members of the community are invited to come and share ideas to add to the vision behind the design. It's a very fun and interactive exercise, and we'd encourage as many people in the public to attend as possible. And if there's any further questions on where we are in the project, I'd be happy to answer anything I can.
No, I'd just like to expand on that a little bit so that people have a clear understanding what we're doing. This is progressing differently than the past project ever did with Bread Loaf. From now until March, we have paid this architectural team $29,000. For that, we are getting 2 or 3 conceptual designs that everyone agrees on, including stakeholders and members of the community will have a buy-in to this.
That's correct.
They also have a little marketing piece to this, that they will help us with marketing aspects. In March, hopefully, this will pass. Upon passage, then we continue to pay them the amount for work done to actually complete the project. So this is really a cost saving to the town that wasn't in place before. I want people to be aware of that. That's why we have this opportunity for the community to come together on September 6th. We want to engage the community. The architects will be there, Trident will be there, school board members will be there, administrators will be there. It's going to be somewhat moderated by Dr. Wilson. We anticipate seeing whiteboards, and people in the community can actually suggest ideas. It's their wish list. What would you like to see in Central School? What do you think the needs are? How do you think we can best handle this? So that's September 6th, and that's a very important date. It will be on the websites, and there will be a press release, and we hope we really get a very good turnout for this.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay?
Thank you. And while we're on the subject of facilities, I'd like to give everybody an update on where we are with summer projects. So if we start at the middle school, our asbestos removal project of all the flooring was successful. No problems. We met all federal, state, and local guidelines to remove it. So all the floor tile in the main corridor as you walk in and to the left has been removed. The flooring company is fully mobilized. They've done all the prep work. So floor tile should be finished up by the end of the week. So we're looking at Friday as a targeted completion date. Shortly after the flooring is installed, we have a painting crew shortly following after to freshen up some of the hallways and other areas in the school. The playground project is in full swing. The contractors mobilized material. A lot of it is on site. Some of it we're still waiting for, but we're looking at a completion before the kids arrive in late August. In addition to that, fire alarm testing, boiler repairs, sewage, and other back-of-house items have all been completed or are in progress and will be done by the end of the week. As we move to the central school, the roofing project has begun. The contractor stacked all his material on the site yesterday. So as soon as the architect, which is the Turner Group, verify all the quantities, we can issue partial payment to them for all the material being on site. As you know, the weather hasn't been that promising, so it wasn't a good idea to lay material there ahead of, to just keep it on site. So we're shooting for a completion before school begins, but most likely there will still be some punch work items after the kids are back in school, but disruptions will be managed. As I said with the other school, we have painting crews that are scheduled to come in next week. A lot of the back of the house items are completed there, and the ADA compliant restroom is in progress, and we're on schedule to have that completed before school starts. In addition to that, there were some other items, some grounds work that's being completed. In addition to this, if you've noticed at the central school outside one of the gymnasium entrances, there was some deteriorating concrete, and that's being repaired next week.
Okay, could you also speak to the shade structure and what's happening with that?
Sure. The shade structure that was part of the gift that was so generously donated, we realized that the concrete was coated a little too early. Either that or it was maybe a bad product. So we did work with the contractor, and he is going to fully honor his workmanship guarantee, and is going to remove what's there now and come back with a better product, so we have something for the long term.
Okay. Did the tiles come in yesterday at middle school?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. All material is on site now.
Okay.
So some of it arrived yesterday, some of it arrived in the morning, but they were fully busy doing all the prep work that was necessary for the job.
Okay, 'cause I did a walkthrough of both schools yesterday. I got a little nervous. I called
Yes.
Tom and said, are we going to be ready? And he said,
Yes.
yeah, tiles will be in.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm not nervous at all on any of the timelines.
Yeah, you were very, very reassuring, but
Yes.
Okay, good. Does anyone else have any questions for Tom on either of that, of the renovations and improvement project or the facilities, summer facilities projects?
I just asked about the shade structure. Is there anything that's being done to address the hill, the erosion from the hill?
Yeah, I have the contractor that installed the shade structure is looking at that, and I expect some pricing back from him early next week, because we've noticed that anytime it rains, we get some washout of the hill.
Okay.
So we're looking at installing a small retaining wall.
Okay.
Similar structure.
All right.
Okay, good. No other questions? I guess. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Dr. Metzler, will you give us an update, please, on the facilities director?
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to thank the board members that have assisted in this process. As you know, it's been a lengthy process. We had over 70 applicants. I just wanted to confirm that number with Nancy. And we've narrowed that down through a paper screen to 11 candidates that we will be interviewing over the next couple of weeks. And so that's the process where we're at as we speak. Hopefully they'll have some finalists recommended, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Nancy, are we going to be doing those interviews
Later this week, we're going to start.
this week?
Yes.
But this weekend, next week.
This week, and we have to bump it over to next week because there's so many finals.
Okay,
Okay?
great, thank you.
So, I'm not sure the board's expectations. We hope to have a candidate for you, maybe not by August 22nd, but maybe at your first meeting in September, if that works.
Yeah, whatever we can do. I don't think the board wants to rush it at this point.
No, and in the meantime, and not to put Mr. Geary on this, we're in good shape in Hempstead through the SAU. Mr. Geary has really stepped in for the facilities director position temporarily and is overseeing projects in both districts. So we appreciate that. That's given us a level of comfort so we can go about this in a really methodical way and get the best candidate for Hempstead.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we're saving money by not having a salary to pay out.
Correct. So we would say you're generating surplus. So.
Without trying to. All right, the next thing are our Pinkerton scholarships. As you know, each year the board votes to determine if a Hampstead School Board scholarship will be offered to Hampstead students attending Pinkerton Academy. In the past, we have done this, a boy and a girl, $500 each. I'd like to know some discussion if the board would like to continue that for next year.
It's been, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Catherine.
It's been $500 since at least 2002.
Yeah, I think I saw before that it was 300. It was 300. Yeah, that's right here on the list. 2002 it was 500.
Right, and it went down to 300
Then it went down to 300 in 2007, 2009, 2012. It was bumped up to 500 just 2015.
That coincided with the recession.
Did it?
There was a drop down
Yeah.
during the recessionary period, and then it came back up to 500.
Your thoughts?
Well, my thought is that 750 each would be a more respectable scholarship amount, at least. I mean, I understand, this is taxpayer funds, but there is, a portion of surplus that is generated even accidentally this year. I don't see why we can't help our students out.
I'll make that motion. I'll move that the board approve 2 scholarships in the amount of $750 for one boy and one girl graduating from Pinkerton Academy.
Second. Caitlin, second.
Caitlin, second.
Pick one.
Is there any further discussion?
I think that's a reasonable amount.
Yeah, and I think the recipients really appreciate it, and it does help them with their college expenses. So 750 is good. All in favor of 750 each? Unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Board comments and correspondence.
Oh, we're here already?
Good meeting. Anyone?
I don't have anything.
No.
No.
No, nothing.
I just attended the regular meetings, go with part of the board responsibilities, construction committee, dealt with people getting the process going for the facilities director, toured the 2 schools yesterday. That's it. Everything's in good shape. Nice to report that out.
Good.
Okay. Consent agenda.
There is no personnel report this evening. The Power School enrollment numbers, these are preliminary counts. Want me to read through them?
Sure.
Okay. So at the Central School, we are currently at 455 students. Pre-K is 23, 85 kindergarten students, first grade 73, second grade 88, third grade 93, fourth grade 93. At the middle school, we're currently at 420 students. It's 84 in grade 5, 109 in grade 6, 108 in grade 7, and 119 in grade 8. I need to bring to your attention that grade 3 is above the policy by 3 students. 3 out of the 4 classrooms will have 24, and the 4th classroom has 23. They knew they were close in June, but we've had some people enroll, and so we need to think of 2 things. It's either waive the policy or think about additional staff. I think those are the 2 options. But those are the current numbers I think they're comfortable with. But we are over the policy by 3, so we typically waive the policy or an additional staff member and redistribute.
We had discussed this previous to tonight with Mr. Collins, and I think the board had a sense that this might happen, and that because of that, I think we agreed that we would waive policy for this year. Any thoughts?
Well, for the 3rd grade. And
Third grade.
last year, I believe we did this for the 3rd grade also, which is the current 4th grade this year.
Oh, okay.
And I think we specified that it was just for that grade.
And I would just add too, particularly for the parents of children that are in some of these grade levels, that Hampstead still is below the state recommended numbers. Hampstead has a policy. We set our policy to have smaller class sizes than the state mandate. So even with the above Hampstead policy, classrooms will still be below the state policy on our classroom sizes, which I think is is overwhelmingly the preference of the community, is to ensure that we err on the side of smaller classroom sizes.
So my recommendation would be to waive policy, and primarily just so parents are comfortable. We have tremendous support staff. I think that they're adequately supported. I think that there won't be any academic consequences that they were over-enrolled in class. I think they'll be comfortable and they'll be well supported. So I think my recommendation would be to waive policy and go with the current staff the way it is.
Yeah, I would agree. If I had heard anything contrary from Mr. Collins after he had spoken to staff and all, my decision might be different, but they're confident that this is going to work, and we have very good teachers. They can handle a couple more kids. So can I have a motion, please, that we waive the policy for 3rd grade for this year?
I
Caitlin?
apologize. I should have the policy in front of me, but I do not. I don't.
I have a screenshot of the policy, but I don't have the policy number on it.
I have my book.
Nancy's already looking.
Nancy, do you have the policy?
She's got it.
I don't have it in front of me, sorry.
I don't want to guess.
I do also want to point out that there's a class policy size for the 1st and 2nd grade that is lower than class policy for 3rd grade and up. And so there's usually an increase in class sizes between 2nd and 3rd grade anyhow. It's a natural progression. The state policy is for 30 students per class in 3rd grade, and Hampstead's policy is 23. So I think 24. have confidence in our staff, certainly, to be able to handle the 24. But I would definitely like to be made aware if it becomes an issue also.
Sounds like also, too, we're tracking above projections still. At the end of the year, we were tracking above the Hsdsb projections.
Yeah, it's a slight uptick.
And we haven't tried to over dramatize it. We've just, like we've talked about at deliberative session and so forth, that, any notion that the district is shrinking is actually not the case. Granted, it's not dramatic growth, but it is growth. So.
Do we have any numbers about how many students have been added over the summer?
I don't have those in front of me, so I don't.
Right.
But I know, there's been a few at each grade level. It just seems that third grade was the grade that we were most concerned in, and it proved to be true.
Do we have the policy number yet? The letters?
Oh, mine's all school board.
I believe it's class size policy.
While everybody's looking, I have a question. So if we're going to waive policy to go to 24, is it part of the policy that if they were to go to 25, we'd have to waive policy again?
Yeah, if there was any increase, we would come back to you on the 22nd of. If somebody moves in between now and the 22nd of August, we'd be, or even in the first month of school, and then you have difficult decisions to make. Because once school starts, I think we had a similar discussion. It was more powerful to keep them with their current teachers than to divide up classes and give people new teachers once school has started, especially in third grade or second grade or at the younger grades. So
We did that once, and it was not preferable. That was, 2 years ago, I think it was?
It was when the current fourth graders were in second grade. So yeah, 2 years ago.
It's not the preferred solution.
No, certainly not.
I would say.
It's much better to have them stable.
And once they've established their home base, it's, I think we did it in the most diplomatic and democratic process. We asked for, volunteers, and we were able to do it. So we didn't create as much disruption, but there still was disruption. All right, Nancy, in the policy search. You just want to call it the class size policy, and then we'll circle back around with the letters.
Yeah, why don't we move on, and then we can fill in the actual policy letters.
We can always amend our minutes to insert the.
So we're going
Policy
to
number.
waive the policy for class size for third grade for this school year. Okay? Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, just for the minutes, and we'll add the code so that.
We will actually add the policy code when we find it.
Great.
Okay.
Also, before we move on, I just wanted to know, you said for Dr. Metzel, the personnel report, NA, there were no new hires at this point then that we needed to ratify, or?
I don't believe so. They didn't have one for me today.
Okay.
And I had asked earlier this afternoon.
Okay, I know.
You have it? Tom Gary found it. Just want to give credit where, IIB. We'll never forget that.
Okay. The next, we have a non-public tonight. So I'm going to move that we go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, paragraph 2. Where's the personnel? C. Matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member.
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, roll call. She's got to,
Oh, right, non-public.
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Abbruzzese?
Yes.
Jason Cipriano?
Yes.
Karen Usenka?
yes.
James Sweeney?
Yes.
Caitlin Parnell?
Yes.
Thank you.
And for cable, I don't believe that we'll be making a decision when we come out.
No? We might.